This video essay analyzes the relationship between Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, using a series of photographs to illustrate the evolving dynamics between the two women and the eventual breakdown of their relationship. The essay argues that the contrasting personalities and styles of Catherine and Meghan, initially presented as a strength for the royal family, ultimately contributed to a significant rift between the two women and their respective husbands, Princes William and Harry. This analysis will examine the essay's arguments, considering the context of the royal family's public image, the pressures of royal life, and the ethical considerations of analyzing personal relationships through public appearances. The introduction immediately establishes the central theme, the deterioration of the relationship between Catherine and Meghan, using a selection of photographs as primary evidence. The author sets a critical tone, describing the photographs as even worse than I thought, and highlighting the unpleasant fallout between the two women, emphasizing the conflict and its consequences. The introduction immediately establishes the central theme and sets a critical tone. The essay begins by contrasting the initial optimism surrounding the Fab Four, Princes William and Harry and their wives, with the subsequent breakdown of their relationship. This sets the stage for analyzing the photographs as evidence of a gradual shift from harmony to animosity. The essay begins by contrasting initial optimism with the subsequent breakdown. The essay then presents a series of photographs, each accompanied by detailed analysis of the body language and facial expressions of Catherine and Meghan. The author interprets these visual cues to suggest growing tension, discomfort, and ultimately, a complete lack of connection between the two women. The essay then presents a series of photographs. The analysis of the first photographs, taken around the time of Harry and Meghan's engagement, suggests a forced cordiality and awkwardness, with Meghan appearing overly enthusiastic while Catherine seems reserved and uncomfortable. The author interprets this as an early indication of underlying tension. The analysis of the first photographs suggests a forced cordiality. The essay then analyzes photographs from Harry and Meghan's wedding, highlighting Catherine's strained expression and the apparent lack of interaction between her and Meghan. The author connects this to reported disagreements over the bridesmaids' outfits and other pre-wedding tensions. The essay then analyzes photographs from Harry and Meghan's wedding. The essay then examines photographs from Trooping the Color, highlighting the physical distance between Catherine and Meghan and their apparent lack of eye contact. The author interprets this as a clear indication of the growing rift between the two women. The essay then examines photographs from Trooping the Color. The essay then analyzes photographs from Wimbledon, where Catherine and Meghan are seen together at a tennis match. The author highlights Catherine's strained expression and her apparent discomfort in Meghan's presence, suggesting that the attempt at a public display of friendship was unsuccessful. The essay then analyzes photographs from Wimbledon. The essay then examines photographs from the Commonwealth Day service, emphasizing the physical separation of the two couples and their lack of interaction. The author interprets this as a deliberate attempt to avoid any appearance of unity or reconciliation. The essay then examines photographs from the Commonwealth Day service. The essay then analyzes photographs from a polo match, highlighting the complete lack of interaction between Catherine and Meghan, even in a relatively informal setting. The author interprets this as a definitive indication of the irreparable damage to their relationship. The essay then analyzes photographs from a polo match. The essay then discusses photographs from the Queen's Jubilee service and the Queen's funeral, highlighting the continued distance between Catherine and Meghan, even in the context of significant royal events and national mourning. The author interprets this as a final confirmation of the complete breakdown of their relationship. The essay then discusses photographs from the Queen's Jubilee service and funeral. The essay concludes by summarizing the deterioration of the relationship between Catherine and Meghan, emphasizing the contrasting personalities and communication styles of the two women and the eventual breakdown of their relationship. The author suggests that the initial hope for a harmonious Fab Four was ultimately unrealistic given the inherent differences and pressures within the royal family. The essay concludes by summarizing the deterioration of the relationship. However, the essay relies heavily on interpretation of visual cues in photographs, which is inherently subjective and open to multiple interpretations. The author's analysis is based on subjective readings of body language and facial expressions, which may not accurately reflect the true emotions or intentions of the individuals involved. The analysis addresses the essay's reliance on subjective interpretation. Furthermore, the essay's focus on personal relationships overshadows the broader context of royal life and the pressures faced by members of the royal family. While the essay acknowledges some of these pressures, it does not fully explore the institutional factors that may have contributed to the breakdown of the relationship between Catherine and Meghan. The analysis addresses the essay's focus on personal relationships. Finally, the essay's reliance on unnamed sources and anecdotal accounts raises ethical concerns about the accuracy and fairness of its claims. The lack of verifiable evidence and the potential for misrepresentation weaken the essay's overall credibility. The analysis addresses the essay's reliance on unnamed sources. In conclusion, while the essay presents a compelling narrative about the deterioration of the relationship between Catherine and Meghan, its reliance on subjective interpretation, its limited exploration of the broader context, and its ethical shortcomings limit its overall persuasiveness. The essay effectively highlights the challenges of navigating public life and personal relationships within the royal family, but its conclusions remain largely speculative. The analysis concludes by summarizing the key arguments and emphasizing the limitations of the essay's approach.